You're 3 hours into a refactor. You've got 12 files open. And you just realized the bug you've been chasing lives in a function you forgot existed, buried in a codebase you inherited 6 months ago. This is the moment where AI coding tools either prove their worth or become just another tab you forgot you had open. So which ones actually help? I spent the last month testing the 3 tools everyone's talking about. Here's what I found. 2026 is the year these tools stopped being glorified autocomplete. They're not suggesting code anymore. They're reading your entire codebase, editing multiple files, and shipping features while you make coffee. Cursor, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot. 3 tools, 3 completely different philosophies, and wildly different results depending on what you're actually trying to do. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which one fits how you actually work. Not the marketing hype, the reality. First, let's talk about what's actually changed. For years, AI coding meant autocomplete, tab accept. Useful, but limited. You were still doing the heavy lifting. The new generation is different. These are agents. They don't just complete your sentences. They understand your project. They can hold an entire codebase in memory and make changes across dozens of files. That shift from autocomplete to agent is why 73% of developers now report increased productivity with AI assistance. But here's the catch. Only 42% feel they've chosen the best tool for their needs. Most developers are using something, but they're not sure it's the right something. Let's fix that. Starting with the tool that's gotten the most buzz this year, Cursor. Cursor is a code editor, not a plugin, not an extension. It's a fork of VS Code rebuilt from the ground up with AI baked into every interaction. The big feature is Composer 2, a code-only model trained specifically for long-horizon coding tasks. It doesn't just suggest the next line. It plans and executes multi-file changes autonomously. Professional developers report 30 to 40% faster coding with Cursor. That's not marketing fluff. That's based on reports from people using it on real projects. One reviewer put it bluntly, Cursor is the most capable AI code editor available in 2026. And it's not particularly close. Pricing starts at $20 a month for Pro, but here's what the marketing doesn't tell you. Heavy users should budget $30 to $50 monthly. The credits run out faster than you'd think. If you're a power user, Pro Plus at $60 a month gives you 3 times the credits. Worth it if you're coding 8 hours a day. Expensive if you're not. Now let's talk about the tool that's taking a completely different approach, Claude Code. Claude Code isn't an editor. It's a terminal agent. It lives in your command line, reads your codebase, and executes changes through conversation. No GUI, no buttons. Just you and the terminal. The killer feature is context. Claude Code's 1 million token context window lets it hold your entire codebase in memory at once. Not summaries, not embeddings, the actual code. On SWE-bench Verified, the industry benchmark for AI coding ability, Claude Code scored 80.9% accuracy. That's the current record. No other tool comes close. In blind tests across 36 coding duels, Claude Code had a 67% win rate against competitors. Developers picked its code without knowing which tool wrote it. This quarter, Claude Code added voice mode, the /loop command for iterative tasks, and computer use for Mac. The tool is evolving fast. Developers who use Claude Code as their primary tool report it handles about 80% of their coding work. 80%. That's not assistance, that's partnership. But here's what no one tells you about Claude Code. It's not trying to do everything. One experienced developer put it perfectly. Claude Code excels at exploring codebases, understanding logic, and reducing repetitive work, but it won't build your app for you. And autocomplete? That's not Claude Code's strength. If you want that tab flow, Cursor does it better. Different tools, different purposes. Which brings us to the elephant in the room, GitHub Copilot, the tool that started all of this. Where does it fit now? Copilot is still the most popular AI coding tool. It's embedded in VS Code, it's backed by Microsoft, and for a lot of developers, it's just there, already installed, already working. For basic autocomplete, it's fine, good even. But in 2026, fine isn't the bar anymore. The new tools are playing a different game entirely. So which tools should you use? Based on my testing, here's the honest breakdown. If you're writing code all day, building features, fixing bugs, living in your editor, Cursor's probably your best bet. The Composer feature alone is worth the $20. If you're doing complex refactoring, debugging legacy systems, or need to understand a massive code base you didn't write, Claude Code's context window is unmatched. Nothing else holds that much code in memory. If you're on a team that's already standardized on VS Code and you need something that just works without disruption, Copilot is still a solid choice. Don't overthink it. Here's what I'd recommend you actually do this week. Pick one tool. Give it 2 weeks on your real code base. Not a tutorial project, your actual work. For Cursor specifically, try Composer on a multi-file change you've been putting off. A refactor. A feature that touches 3 or 4 files. See if it handles the coordination better than you expected. For Claude Code, try the /loop command on a repetitive task, like adding error handling to every function in a module. Watch it iterate until the job is done. One thing worth noting, rate limiting is real. Claude Code users on the $100 a month max plan report hitting limits on complex prompts. Budget your context carefully on big tasks. For non-technical founders, if you're managing a development team, ask them which AI tools they're using. 73% report productivity gains, but tool choice matters significantly. And here's a pro tip. Start with specific tasks before trusting AI with core business logic. Use it for code review, test writing, and documentation first. Build trust incrementally. There's a debate happening in the developer community that's worth mentioning. Do these tools make junior developers better, or do they just mask fundamental skill gaps? Some worry that over-reliance on AI creates technical debt, code that works but nobody fully understands. When the AI-generated function breaks at 3 a.m., can the team actually fix it? I don't have a perfect answer for that. But I think the tools that explain their reasoning, like Claude Code does, are probably safer bets than pure code generators. The productivity gains are real though. 30 to 40% faster with Cursor. 80% of tasks automated with Claude Code. These aren't marginal improvements, they're substantial shifts in how work gets done. And by this time next year, these tools will look primitive compared to what's coming. The trajectory is steep. What we're seeing now is the beginning, not the end. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. We cover AI tools every week. Honest assessments, no hype. Budget realistically if you're committing to these tools. Power users spend $30 to $60 a month, but if you're billing for development time, the ROI on a single recovered hour typically covers the entire month. 2026 is the year AI coding stopped being a gimmick and became a competitive advantage. The developers who figure out which tool fits their workflow, they're going to ship faster. The ones who don't, they'll still be refactoring by hand while their competition is already on to the next feature. Cursor for the edit-heavy workflow, Claude Code for the context-heavy deep work, and Copilot when you need something that just works out of the box. Pick your tool, put in the 2 weeks. See what actually changes.